Well, hi, everybody. Welcome to Pre-Service Chat. So good to have you with us today. I'm excited to be able to interview Sophia. And Sophia, your name is on the screen. I'd love to hear you say your name. It looks like something I would butcher terribly.
Of course, it's Sophia Ciavarella.
I would have butchered it. Yes, thank you so much. In this season, everybody, as you may have realized, we are starting to interview some of the leaders of the organizations that we're partnering with for Serve the City. Sophia, you are with Peers. Could you maybe tell us just a little bit about maybe yourself, how long you've been with that organization, and what your organization's all about?
Sure thing. My name is Sophia Ciavarella. Hi, everyone. I'm 30 years old. I live on the traditional territories of the Lekwungen-speaking peoples known as the Songhees and Esquimalt Nations, and I'm the operations manager at Peers Victoria Resource Society. We are a local community organization that serves current and former members of the sex trade.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, that is absolutely amazing. Um, how many staff and volunteers would you have on any given week? I guess staff would be fairly every week would be the same, but volunteers, yeah. What kind of organization size is it?
Well, we actually expanded quite a bit during COVID. We used to be 12 staff members and a smattering of volunteers, and now there are 67 people on my mailing list.
Oh my goodness. Wow, that's amazing. Now I noticed on your website that you're actually doing some hiring still. How's that going?
Yes, we're doing some hiring still. It's going well. We finished the interviews, and now it's just the process of picking the right people for the job.
Well, there you go. Now, we were talking just before we went live, and you have been with the organization. I think it is 3 years. Is that right?
Yes, I started in 2018 as a practicum student and then transitioned into employment there and have been with the organization ever since.
Wow, that is so cool. So some of the folks here at Saanich are probably familiar with Peers to some degree or not, and it sounds like it's expanding. I mean, I got a list of some of the outreach programs that you do, and we'll get into that in just maybe a moment or two. But yeah, maybe just talk a little bit about the scope of the organization and the resources and the things that you are endeavoring to be about week in and week out.
For sure. So Peers was founded in 1995 by a combination of social workers and sex workers who noticed that people in the sex trade face unique barriers such as stigma and discrimination when accessing resources and services at other organizations. So Peers was created as a one-stop shop where people in the sex trade could access necessary supports with safety, confidentiality, and non-judgment. To that end, we have a wide variety of services we offer. Our drop-in center is open Tuesday to Thursday, where participants can receive a hot meal, harm reduction supplies, nursing services, a point of connection for community, and referrals to peers programs and other services in the city. Our night outreach van serves the same function, going out to the strolls where street-based sex workers work every night, providing services to street-based and unsheltered clients who can't access services during the daytime because of their nighttime work. Our health outreach service connects participants with healthcare, accompanies people to appointments, and provides educational workshops. Our housing team connects and supports participants accessing supportive and market housing and provides subsidies to help people maintain their housing. Our violence prevention service supports survivors of violence, trafficking, and exploitation, maintains a bad date and aggressor reporting system that sex workers can use to file reports of violence to us as a softer alternative to the police, which we then distribute to the community to help others stay safe. And we also liaise with the police to support sex workers and trafficking survivors who wish to file police reports and access the justice system. Our counseling service provides trauma-informed, non-judgmental counseling free of charge. Our Indigenous outreach team provides culturally relevant and safe care and wellness services to Indigenous sex workers and unsheltered people. Our peer support groups support subpopulations within the sex work community and serve as community connections for a community that faces a great deal of isolation. And finally, we've stepped up during COVID-19 to provide peer and harm reduction support in temporary shelters and supportive housing sites across the city, expanding our mandate to include all unsheltered people.
Wow. Wow. Okay. That was impressive. You rattled that off amazingly. I just want you, probably everybody, if you're wanting to hear more and read more about that, hit your website for sure. You know, one of the things that I heard in the midst of that I think is really great is that there seems to be a wanting to come alongside and offer value and respect to the individuals. That must bring with it some challenge, but must bring with it some real reward as well. Hey.
Absolutely, yeah. We are a peer-based organization, so many of the members of our organization have lived experience in the sex trade. So that can make boundaries very important and challenging sometimes because
Mm.
people will often know other people from the community, and have relationships with clients in other contexts, which is just unavoidable in our work. But it also makes it very rewarding. We feel very connected to the community we serve. We feel like we can approach with the community with supporting their self-identified needs as opposed to coming in and telling people what they need. And we feel we've developed a lot of trust with the community as well that helps us reach a greater level of relationship building.
Mm. Yeah, trust. Well, that's a powerful word, and only really comes through some sustained relationships and yeah, some history. Yeah, well done, Sophia. Um, so if someone was watching this, not if, there are people watching this, but they just felt I'd like to help out in some way. What are some of the different ways? Are there opportunities for people to volunteer? What are some of your needs right now? Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, volunteer opportunities can be a bit limited due to COVID. We volunteers help us by cooking hot or frozen meals for our programs, sorting clothing donations, which we get quite a lot of, writing donor thank you cards, helping with vehicle maintenance, helping with fundraising and event planning, and providing donations we can distribute to the community, such as the gift bags your church has generously offered to provide during Christmas. Um, right now, we are potentially looking for people to cook holiday meals during the holiday week.
Wow. Okay, Sophia, you're good. You just rattled off some really great opportunities and you threw in a nice little plug on what we're doing. I don't even have to get there. Yeah, so this year we're partnering again with you and we're offering, maybe explain what our partnership is going to look like this year. You mentioned the bags. Maybe just explain a little bit about that, please. Thank you.
Sure thing. So your church will be providing us with Christmas gift bags that we can distribute to clients in need over the holidays. We give out three types of themed bags: a cozy bag of things to keep warm in, a food bag of snacks and treats, and a hygiene bag of basic necessities.
So will we be shopping for those ourselves or providing the resources for that? I know sometimes with COVID it changes. How's that going to work this year?
Well, it's whatever the people in your church are willing to provide. Usually, we get the bags pre-made, but if you just want to submit supplies, we can assemble them ourselves.
Yeah, I know you've been in conversation with Shyla, and she knows the details far better than I do. So, oh man, that's awesome. So I heard you mention that there are a number of opportunities to serve and volunteer. So SBC, I just put it out there. Man, if God is tugging on your heart to serve, and actually, one of the things I saw on your values, Sophia, on your peers' value statement was the whole area of social justice and just wanting to. One of our values in our church is that we as people and as an organization would act justly as well, would seek justice for others. And so, maybe folks out there, there's an opportunity for you to reach out. So if they wanted to volunteer or get connected in some way to maybe just ask some questions, what's the best way for them to do that?
Well, there's two ways. They can go to our website, safersexwork.ca, and there's a button that says Get Involved, and that brings you to a volunteer application. You can also email me at admin@peers.bc.ca.
Okay. All right. I heard it. Admin at peers.
.bc.ca. So
There you go.
ADMIN at PEERS.bc.ca.
Nice. Awesome. Oh, that's absolutely fantastic. So what what would be some of the biggest challenges I suppose that you're facing? And I'm not necessarily thinking, I mean, COVID has probably done some crazy things to you and you guys have obviously figured out how to overcome a lot of that. But what have some of them been? We've got a group of people who would probably be really excited to be praying for you. And so, yeah, maybe just list off a few of those.
For sure. I'd say funding is probably a main challenge. We have no core funding. We're completely funded through grant writing, um, which is part of the thing that I do. So it means that it can sometimes be hard because we can only do what we can convince funders to give us money to do. And it also can mean if we lose a grant, then a service is potentially at risk of closing down for a short or long period of time. Otherwise, it can be very emotionally intense work, the work that we do. Some rates of burnout can be high, and we have to manage that together. So that's definitely something that we could use support with, staying healthy, safe, and supported in our job of caring for others.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, two things that I think a lot of us would understand. Money is sometimes hard to come by in our lives.
Yes.
Yeah. And feeling emotionally supported sometimes is really hard in our lives. And so it's no different for you and your organization. Okay. So there you go. SBC, there's some things that we can be thinking about for peers as they weekly, nightly. It's a nightly thing? Is it a weekly thing? How does the organization sort of function?
Well, we function our work on the night outreach van and in the temporary housing sites is every day of the week. Our drop-in center is 3 days a week, and the rest of our programs operate between 4 and 5 days a week. So we're always doing something.
Yeah, it sounds like it. You talked about boundaries earlier. I hope that you have boundaries, Sophia, for yourself. Yeah, so that you can continue to do the great work, that you're doing. Yeah, so the question that just came in just went out of my brain so quickly. This is always frustrating for me. Needs going forward, dreams going forward. We love to dream with people. We love to support and pray for people. You sound like an innovator. The organization sounds like it's changed quite a bit under your leadership or expanded and grown. What are things that you're looking to do in the near future?
I'm not sure of near future, but blue skies, we would love to run a housing site of our own, a place
Okay.
that people could be safe and live in, so people don't have to worry about keeping a roof over their head as they work. We would also love to be able to provide support to youth in exploitive situations or on the streets, as there's a large population who often struggle to access the support that they need. So we would love to be able to step up and help in that respect as well.
Wow. Well, Sophia, I think I told you at the beginning, this is going to go fast. Thank you so much. You're very articulate. You shared wonderfully. Thank you for what you're doing. Thank you that you, frankly, allow us to partner with you. We count it quite a privilege. We truly view people like you in some of these outreach programs as heroes of our community. And so we thank you for that. We pray for you, and we're glad to be able to partner with you. So SBC, let's keep that up. Consider how you might maybe want to get involved outside of just what we're doing at Serve the City, which is wonderful. And I'm just going to turn it back to the tech team.